Hi guys, Mr. Squeegee here with an episode of Whether or Not for the summer series. This is our first one. Of course, it's nice weather again, so now we're thinking about different problems. Things we want to talk about today, just to start this off, before we talk about what tools we want to use for the summer, special techniques, tips, things like that. Just like we did with the winter series, we want to talk about some of the precautions that are out there when we're thinking about working in the summertime. One of the big benefits to the summertime, of course, is there's a lot more daylight. We can get a lot more done in the summer. But with more daylight means more exposure for us to the sun. So when we're thinking about more exposure, we want to make sure that we're wearing things like a sunscreen with a high SPF on it, because the last thing we need to do is work for a few years in the sunlight and develop a bad case of skin cancer. We don't want that. So we want to think about that. We want to think about maybe a few of us don't have as much hair as we used to, so we want to think about maybe wearing a cap, things like that that will protect us. The colors that we choose to wear. A lot of times if we wear darker colored shirts, we're going to get hotter quicker. So we want to think about lighter colors. They're more reflective. So that's something to think about as well. Other things to think about with the extra sun and exposure to that is sometimes there's humidity and the heat. And those things just drain us. We'll lose a lot of our minerals and electrolytes and things like that as we sweat. So a lot of guys like to bring along a cooler of water for the crew. Well, one thing to think about is there's only so much water you can drink before you kind of get waterlogged and you're not thirsty anymore. But the problem is you're still losing electrolytes. So what we like to do is either have on hand in maybe your first aid kit or just something to give to the guys is they have some tablets you can get at some of the health food stores and different things like that that will balance your electrolytes. So maybe a couple of those, or even something as simple as salt tablets that will help to replenish those elements that you're just going to need. We like to bring Gatorade with us. It's got some of the things, and you can drink a little bit more of that and keep hydrated than with just water. Water's refreshing, but just plain water, I know I can only drink so much of it before I'm just done in with it. So some things to think about there, because we don't want to get dehydrated. That's one of the biggest dangers when we're out here working in the sun. We're losing everything. We're going to get dehydrated. When that happens, your blood actually thickens up, and then it gets harder for your heart to pump that. And of course, in severe cases, that'll lead to death. But even in the best case, you're not going to feel well for several days after that. So something to think about. And along with dehydration, something else to think about is heat stroke. If you're out on a day and you've been sweating a lot, and all of a sudden you stop sweating, and you're still working, and your skin gets cold and clammy, these are some of the signs of heat stroke. You want to make sure that you get attention for that right away. You want to make sure that your guys are trained, that they know what to look for, so that you can avoid those dangers. So as we start working more out here in the summertime, just something to think about, guys, and hopefully we're all being safe. And I look forward to giving you another episode of Whether or Not. And don't forget to stop by windowcleaningresource.com to check out all your summer supplies. Thanks.